Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Dennis Prager Show, the Ultimate Issues Hour. Third hour on Tuesday is devoted to some great issue of life. A book has just been written about the greatest issues of life. What is it all about? Does anything ever change? The notion of mortality and immortality. Who are we? In a brief and powerful book by one of my favorite writers, David Horowitz, known probably to you as a strong conservative activist. And I know him personally, so I'm not surprised at the more recent books that he has written. One very sensitive one that I read every word of and reviewed about the very premature death of his wonderful daughter. And now his latest book, a short, powerful book thinking about life and death, A Point in Time. The search for redemption in this life and the next. And it's very rare that I have guests on the Ultimate Issues Hour. So David, needless to say, just says how much I think of your work.
It's an honor, Dennis.
Well, thank you. It's an honor to be with you and to philosophize with you, as it were. Why did you write this book?
Well, it's something that a book like this, you just have to write it. It comes along. As you know, I had a bout with prostate cancer 10 years ago. And, of course, I think anybody getting to my age, I'm 72, has to think about final things. I mean, you can't avoid it. And since I've been thinking about these issues for at least 10 years, I had made the connections, actually, in earlier books, between our mortality and the political themes also that have interested me. We are a point in time that, in the eye of eternity, we're really nothing.
A passing shadow.
You never realize, when you're younger, you think you're going to live forever, and,
Yes.
and even when you don't, it's so far off. You know?
Yeah.
But at some point, it gets near enough. You say, well, in 10 years, I'll be 82, and at 20, if I live that long, I'll be 92. So you suddenly see that how transitory things are. Then when you look back over all the people who were alive when you were young. So many of them are gone, how they disappear. And then if you think back through time, even if you have a fanatical genealogical family, you probably go back 3 generations and you don't know those people. You have no idea they've disappeared without really a trace. Maybe their names you would know, but you don't know who they were.
And you don't know their names past a few generations.
Yeah. And if you... In my book, in this book, A Point in Time, at the end, I sort of talk about my deracinated family. So where my father didn't even know what his name was. Of course, he was brought here when he was 1 from Russia, but the immigration authorities, he thinks the name was Gorovoy or Gorovich, and they changed it to Horowitz, but he doesn't even know whether it was Gorovoy or Gorovich or what it was. So, we are the wandering Jews. And then it struck me really forcibly that, when I think of my life, it's been an oppositional life. When my parents were communists, so I was always embattled and defending indefensible positions in a hostile environment. Now I'm a conservative. It really isn't that much different. I mean, the environment is still hostile. I'm still, and I noticed that other people avoid conflict and live entirely different lives. And I have to ask myself how I got here. And, I went back in time and to me, it's obvious. It's when the Jews took on the Roman Empire and the temple was destroyed and Jews were dispersed. And ever since then, we've lived in basically hostile environments. And even when we have a home, such as Israel, it's a totally hostile environment. So nothing really has changed in 2,000 years. I mean, the Jews, as I point out in my book, my grandparents made an exodus. They're still making an exodus. I mean, it doesn't matter really what century. we're still in flight. And still, there are so many of us searching for the promised land. And that's the really other dimension of my book, that when you can look at life somewhat clearly, it's very hard to do that. Very hard to get the idea that we're going to be gone tomorrow, whether tomorrow is a day or 10 years or 20 years. You still are in the present, thinking you're going to live forever in some way. When you confront, however, and people can think outside the boxes that they're in. So when you think about it, does it all add up? Are we just here, gone, erased, and nothing we ever did makes any kind of sense outside the actual doing it in the little milieu we were in, which, what are there, 9 billion people on Earth? Think of how many have no idea that you ever existed and so forth. And I guess I began this book after reading or rereading the Meditations of Marcus Aurelius. It was an emperor of Rome. You've all seen a version of him in The Gladiator, if you saw, which is a wonderful movie. Marcus Aurelius was both an emperor, but he was also a philosopher. And he was a Stoic, which meant that he tried to face the meaningless of existence, and actually had good advice as to how to deal with that, some of which I go over in the book. But then he just came up against a wall. He said, well, if life is meaningless, why am I still here? Why, the only real issue is, how am I going to get out of here? Which way am I going to die? And he considered himself somewhat of a coward for not doing that. And it just got to be too much. I don't know if anybody who's written about, I've read quite a bit, haven't seen anybody point this out, but the solution he comes up with is really just an assertion of faith, that there is an order, that there are, of course, he was not a monotheist, but there are gods and they take care of us. And as I say in the book, even a Stoic can't live with the idea that life is utterly meaningless. And so then you go to the next step, which is, how do people find meaning in life? Well, if you are religious and believe in a divinity, and I have to add this caveat, I've really understood the first chapters of Genesis, which is that we are the problem. It's not society is not the problem. Society is a reflection of us, but we are the problem. If you understand that and have the humility that comes from that, then you believe that God will sort it out on the other side. That, to quote the Christian Gospels, we see now through a glass darkly, but then face to face. Then the meaning of life will be unfolded for us. And this book, although written by an agnostic, is I think a powerful testament to religious faith. All the positive things that it does and is. And of course, since I'm an agnostic, I have, unlike Christopher Hitchens, I have the humility to know that I don't know, and that nobody really can know. And that's why it's an act of faith. And what about all those people who, like Christopher Hitchens, are atheists and secularists of one kind or another? Do they believe in the nothingness of life? And the answer is no. I think it's G.K. Chesterton who said, if people don't believe in God, that doesn't mean they believe in nothing. It means they will believe in anything. And the anything that I discuss in this book is a redemption. They believe in a redemption in this life.
I'm talking to David Horowitz. Actually, David Horowitz is talking to me. I actually went to the men's room, came back, washed up, got a coffee. I always rib him about that because he's so good. I don't interrupt him. That's the truth. A Point in Time is his book. It is up at DennisPrager.com. Want to hear me make liberals cry? Stick around, more of the Dennis Prager Show just ahead here on Town Hall Radio. In today's fast-paced work environment, getting everyone in the same room for a meeting can be highly challenging, especially when they work in different locations. That's why I use GoToMeeting with HD Faces by Citrix. You can collaborate online, sharing your presentation while seeing colleagues face-to-face in high-definition color video conferencing. That's why I now use this, not only for professional reasons, but to talk to my son, daughter-in-law, and little grandson. All you need is an internet connection and a webcam. It's that easy. This is finally a true substitute for being in person. I want you to try GoToMeeting with HD high-definition faces today. My listeners can try it free for 30 days. Don't wait for this special offer. Visit GoToMeeting.com, click on the Try It Free button, use the promo code Prager. Once you try it, you will be hooked. Be sure to use the promo code Prager. GoToMeeting.com. Dennis Prager here. Are you shopping for a good night's sleep? And by the way, you ought to be, my friends, because sleep is extremely important to everything about your life. First of all, it helps to know about the springs. Bed springs are coils of compressed energy. Duck springs are longer in length, designed to last much longer that way. This puts ducks miles ahead of its competition. The ingenuity of Swedish springs works better than any other bed. Duck springs distribute your weight evenly, yielding to your shoulders and hips, so you wake up with a good and healthy and happier back. And nobody knows more about backs and their issues than I do, and I thank God that I'm on a duck's bed. The next time you're near a computer, type in DUX.com to learn more about this remarkable bed and then find the store nearest you. That's Dux.com, or call them at 800-595-2000, 800-595-2000. Dux, the bed for life.
Stay tuned for a 1,000,000 bottle giveaway, and you'll also receive free shipping. Do you have troubled skin, acne? Well, we have great news. With Proactive, your acne can heal, and you can prevent new breakouts from happening. We're going to let 1,000,000 people try Proactive risk-free, get 2 free gifts, and also receive free shipping when you call right now. You heard it. This offer won't last long. Don't wait. Visit getproactive.com or call 1-800-761-2014. That's 1-800-761-2014.
For the first time in our history, America's credit rating has been downgraded, and AMAC has an answer to that news. Never again. AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens, is the conservative alternative to the AARP. AMAC cares about the issues conservatives care about. If you're 50 or older, help us get to 1 million members by the 2012 elections. Join AMAC now. Go to tearupyourcar.com or call 800-255-4199, 800-255-4199, or go to tearupyourcar.com.
When your identity is stolen, people think you call the credit card company and that's that. There's still a criminal out there using your name.
Meet Perry, a LifeLock member, and this is his identity theft story.
I didn't know my identity was stolen until I got this LifeLock alert asking if I'd applied for credit cards at 3 stores. I said no. This thief had my name, social security number, and date of birth, and went to 3 stores trying to open credit cards in my name, but LifeLock was on it.
LifeLock is on a mission to help stop identity theft, but they can't protect you if you're not a member. Call now for your 60 days of LifeLock risk-free. If you're not happy, call LifeLock within 60 days of enrollment and you won't pay a cent. See LifeLock.com for details. Call 1-800-852-1481, 1-800-852-1481, 1-800-852-1481.
Portions of today's show are brought to you by MovieNightReviews.com, where you can enter to win a great prize package from the film The Debt. More information available at MovieNightReviews.com.
Hi, everybody. Dennis Prager here. This is the Ultimate Issues Hour. What's it all about is the ultimate issue, and that is what this brief and powerful book by David Horowitz is about, A Point in Time, the search for redemption in this life and the next. We'll ask you about the subtitle in a moment. And I asked him one question, and he spoke the rest of the segment, which is fine with me, actually, because what he has to say is important, heartfelt, and intelligent. I want to ask you some specifics about you and about the book. You've come to dogs late in life, you note in the book.
That's right.
And they've had an impact on your thinking, or at least your feeling.
I have 5 of them. 4 Chihuahuas and a gigantic Bernese mountain dog. But animals teach us a lot about ourselves. They don't complain. They suffer. When they suffer in silence. They endure it. I have a little 3-legged dog because it was born with a withered arm. My wife is very big into animal rescue, and so am I. So we have this 3-legged dog. He doesn't even know that he only has 3 legs. It's just perfectly normal for him. And it kind of teaches you a lesson in how you deal with things. He doesn't say, God, why me? Why did you... He just is a 3-legged dog, and he just accepts it and goes about his business. And, of course, the principal problem we have as human beings is that we are aware of our fate, and we're also aware that really nobody cares about it, or very few people, except in our intimate circles, care about our fates. It was Adam Smith who pointed out that if there is a flood in China and 800,000 people die, that will be in your consciousness for only a very brief time, and much less than if you cut your finger. So this solipsism, which we all have, we carry around this universe, and we think everybody kind of is seeing it, into it the way we are, but they're not. It deceives us. If you look, and it also makes us very unhappy because we're aware of everything we're not. We're aware. When you think about it, people get scared of dying, but why? Unless you think you're going to hell, why would that scare you?
Well, I think people use the word scare wrong. I'm not scared at all about dying, but I don't want to die because I love life and I love the people that I love so much. So
that's a good reason for staying.
Yeah, it sure is.
And I think there's a little passage in my book where I deal with that what Marcus Aurelius missed was the fact that we love the touch of life, and the taste of it, and all the things.
So let me ask you,
keep us going.
You see, I find you fascinating on so many levels. First, I have the same moral passions as you. I have the same love of good and hatred of evil.
Jews.
Well, no, I wish that were true. Most Jews don't agree with us, as you know as well as anybody. So I don't think that has to do with it.
But they have the passion.
Yeah. But if the passion leads you in wrong directions, I rather them be passionless. If the passion leads you like it led your parents who were Jews to communism.
But we should get that. That is exactly the redemption in this life. If you don't,
that's right.
If you don't believe it's going to be sorted out later, and therefore what you focus on in this life is your moral relations to concrete individuals who are there, then you seek a redemption in this life. You want to make life meaningful by bringing about social justice, by
utopia,
that the world, should be in harmony with itself. There should be no poverty. There should be no ignoring the fact.
No sexism, racism, Islamophobia,
that's right.
bigotry.
Ignoring the fact
xenophobia.
That any problem that you confront that's a human problem is caused by us and therefore is insoluble. You can't sort it out. And of course, if you remember Genesis, there's an angel with a flaming sword preventing us from returning. We had paradise. it was better than socialism. We didn't die, didn't have to work, and we showed that we didn't deserve it. We were too ornery.
That's right.
We wanted our freedom.
That's right.
And the freedom to do evil, as well as
and
good.
the freedom to suffer.
And the freedom to suffer. And we wanted all that, and that's why there can't be a paradise. And of course, in the book, I focus these reflections on. Yeah.
So here's my question. This is what I've been leading to, because I watch you with great interest, because we have such similar values and passions and fight the same fights and so on. So you come to these realizations later in life. Why are you still an agnostic?
Well, I haven't been touched in the way that would make me not an agnostic. I'm reading a fascinating book by Francis Collins, who's the head of the Genome Project.
Right, we had him on, yeah.
Called The Language of God.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes, Christopher and Dawkins look utterly ridiculous, because scientists have not a clue as to how the world began, and they haven't got a clue as to how life began, which are the two.
Now, they don't have a clue about what exists. The vast majority of the universe is I don't mean that they don't know what's far away. No. The vast majority of the universe is dark matter that they only gave the term dark matter to. They don't have any idea what it is.
Yeah.
So
this is, I mean, I've said before, I think I said it when my book, The End of Time, was published, but it'd be as amazing to me to wake up and discover that there is a God as there isn't one.
That's what I don't understand. I don't know. I believe, reading you now, hearing you now, I don't believe you're an agnostic. I believe your brain has been so trained to believe that is not what an intellectual can believe, that there is something that stops you from saying, I'm a believer with doubts. When we come back, I want you to answer. It's a challenge to you. I really mean it, because I don't believe if you had to bet your house, your wife, your animals on the issue, I don't believe you would say, I'm 50-50. I think you're 52-48 that there is a God. We'll be back in a moment. A Point in Time, powerful reflections on life by David Horowitz. It's you, your PC, and yours truly, Dennis Prager, gathering here at the Conservative Outpost on the Internet, Town Hall Radio.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason in Washington. A U.S. Highway Safety Agency recommends its states ban texting and cell phone use by truckers and other commercial drivers when they're behind the wheel. His spokesman says President Obama would not fight efforts by Congress to vote on his jobs bill piece by piece rather than as a package. Jay Carney says the president would sign it, then press Congress to get the rest of the job done. Earlier today, Obama political advisor David Axelrod said the White House wants Congress to pass all of the bill at once. The CIA is looking into whether it broke the law by helping New York police build intelligence-gathering programs that monitored life in Muslim communities. On Wall Street, the Dow is up about 67 points, the NASDAQ ahead 42, and the S&P 14 points higher. More details at srnnews.com.
Trinity. If credit card debt has you down, nonprofit Trinity Debt Management can help. Trinity will consolidate your bills into one easy-to-manage monthly payment, stop collections calls, wipe out late fees, and drastically reduce your interest. You'll pay thousands less than you originally owed. So call the Trinity Debt Relief Hotline at 1-800-793-9159. That's 1-800-793-9159. Call now or visit mydebthasmedown.com.
What makes the miracles of Jesus even more miraculous? Standing where they happened, in Israel. Come visit Capernaum, where Jesus restored a paralytic's helpless legs. Sail the Sea of Galilee, where Jesus walked on the water to meet his disciples. Stroll through Cana, where Jesus transformed water into wine. Walk in the footsteps of Jesus. See the Bible come alive before your eyes. Sense God's presence like never before. To learn more about standing where it all happened in Israel, visit evangelicalisraelexperience.com. That's evangelicalisraelexperience.com. Come visit Israel. You'll never be the same.
You'll never be the same.
Are you prepared? Your family is your most valuable asset. Would you be able to feed them in case of emergency, food shortage, or job loss? At wisefoodstorage.com, we offer delicious, ready-made meals like pasta Alfredo, savory stroganoff, and cheesy lasagna that carry a 25-year shelf life, and you prepare them in just minutes by simply adding water. Go to wisefoodstorage.com today to request a free entree sample. Wise Company entrees are packaged for freshness in individual metal mylar pouches, then stored in convenient, durable grab-and-go plastic containers, thus eliminating the potential for waste and making it easy to transport in case of emergency. Gourmet emergency food at the most affordable price. That's what you'll find at wisefoodstorage.com. For a limited time, order your free entree sample and enter the promo code RADIO to get no-cost shipping on any order. That's wisefoodstorage.com. Promo code RADIO. Hearty, affordable gourmet emergency meals you can count on.
Whenever you start a business or deal with your personal life legally, you need the proper documents. If you're forming a corporation or LLC, or creating a will or living trust, these all must be done pursuant to law. Thankfully, at LegalZoom.com, you can get high-quality, reliable documents at an affordable price, like an LLC for $99, or a will for only $69. LegalZoom is not a law firm and provides self-help services at your direction. For more savings, enter family in the referral box at checkout. That's LegalZoom.com.
WiseFoodStorage.com studios, gourmet emergency meals at the best price. Be prepared at WiseFoodStorage.com. This is the Ultimate Issues Hour, and the ultimate issue is, what is it all about? And when a man who has good moral passion and a first-class mind writes about his life's journey and asks the big questions, this intrigues me tremendously. That's what David Horowitz has done. A Point in Time, the search for redemption in this life and the next. And I finally have posed a question I've been wanting to ask him for 10 years, but now I'm really ticked. He's ticking me off, folks. Notice no G. He's ticking. And I'm of course kidding, but I'm kidding in a deeper sense than just kidding. You see, you're like a guy who is like, it's like the blind men and the elephant. You remember that poem sort of thing from elementary school? I loved it. It was the only poem I ever liked. It was totally simple, but that's why I liked it. So you have all these blind men, and they're trying to figure out what an elephant is. And I see you, and obviously you know how I feel about you. I mean, my blurb is on your book.
Yes, thank you.
So, yes, that's quite all right. But here's the trunk, here's the body, here are the legs, here are the tusks, here's the tail. But, gee, I'm agnostic as to whether it's an elephant. Everything you say argues for God. Science knows essentially nothing. The mystery of why we're here is unanswerable. Redemption is only possible with an afterlife. And then you say, gee, I'm an agnostic. Maybe you think that there's no intermediate place between absolute belief and agnosticism. How about a believer with doubts? Why wouldn't you call yourself that?
Never occurred to me. When I've thought about it, I think about it intellectually. I can find I have many problems that I can't figure out. I know, there've been so many people. It's not how do they all fit into heaven or hell, but so many. There's just of course, the existence of certain kinds of evil against innocence. These are questions that have been explored forever. And I realize that it's a matter of faith. Why I can't take that leap, I don't know. I had a faith, which was Marxism. That's what I was brought up in. And it burned me really badly. And part of it is just a reaction to that. I was not brought up in a milieu. That was the, and a lot of this book is about redemption in this life, about how dangerous that belief is, that all the atrocities, all the major atrocities of our time and for the last 100 years have been committed by people who believe in a redemption in this life. That's where Nazism, socialism, communism, progressivism, it's all part of that. People who believe that they can fix the world through human agency when we're the reason that things are the mess they are. Mm-hmm. And again, it goes right back to Genesis. The fault is in ourselves. If you believe the fault is in ourselves, then the only way to redeem this life is for a God to do it.
That's why Marx hated religion, because people were taught by religion how to deal with suffering, and that ticked him off.
Yeah, well,
they won't make a revolution.
And I keep bringing up Hitchens, but Hitchens is always quoting Marx as saying that religion will vanish when suffering vanishes. Well,
good luck.
Good luck.
Exactly. All right, if you want to talk to David Horowitz, 1-8-PRAGER-776, the book A Point in Time. You'll love it. The Search for Redemption in This Life and the Next is a subtitle. It's up at DennisPrager.com, and you're listening to The Dennis Prager Show.
Portions of today's show are brought to you by MovieNightReviews.com, where you can enter to win a great prize package from the film The Debt. More information available at MovieNightReviews.com.
My friends, please allow me to thank you for spending some time with me, Dennis Prager, right here on Town Hall Radio.
Dennis Prager here. When you stop and think about this year's events, nobody would have predicted an earthquake to hit Virginia and Washington, D.C., or a hurricane that would impact the eastern seaboard. Remember the record number of tornadoes that wreaked havoc in many of our states? Well, emergencies can happen to all of us at any time, and the question is, how will you provide for your family in an emergency? For my preparation, I recommend WiseFoodStorage.com. WiseFoodStorage.com offers delicious, ready-made, freeze-dried meals like cheesy lasagna, pasta Alfredo, and savory stroganoff that carry a 25-year shelf life. And you prepare them in minutes by simply adding water. Wise Company entrees are packaged for freshness in individual Mylar pouches and then stored in convenient grab-and-go containers. Stefan from North Carolina initially purchased Wise Food Storage to be prepared in case of natural disaster. He didn't realize that Wise products would later help to feed his family after he became unemployed. Go to WiseFoodStorage.com today to request a free entree sample.
Right now, someone could be searching for you. Find out at MyLife, the Internet's leading people search site. The only place where you can see if someone is searching for you right now, for free. Just go to SeeMySearches.com and type in your name. At SeeMySearches.com, there are millions of unclaimed messages. You can see if someone is searching for you. Hey, could be past loves, colleagues, old school friends. Go to SeeMySearches.com right now and see if someone is searching for you, for free. SeeMySearches.com. Who's searching for you?
Business phone systems don't have to be expensive or hard to install and maintain. Cudatel is an easy-to-use, next-generation VoIP phone system that enables seamless, high-definition voice and video communication. It's time to fire the phone guy, because Cudatel can be deployed by your in-house or outsourced IT staff. Starting at just $1,399 with no per-user or per-feature fees, Cudatel by Barracuda Networks is powerful and affordable. Visit Cudatel.com for a free evaluation. That's Cudatel.com.
What do you look for in an online degree program? Reputation, legacy, Christian perspective? Azusa Pacific University combines all of these. 111 years of excellence in Christian higher education is now offered completely online. Accredited online programs in management, leadership, education, and nursing. Our success is your graduation. So let us help you graduate and fulfill a goal. Lead with integrity and change the world. Complete your bachelor's degree or earn a master's from faculty who challenge and support you throughout the classes, from start to diploma. With more than 20 online programs, there's a degree for you at APU. Contact an Azusa Pacific representative today to customize your education journey and financing plan. Go to apu.edu, keyword online, and earn your degree from Azusa Pacific University. That's apu.edu, keyword online. Relevant Christian degrees since 1899. Azusa Pacific University. It's time. Program not available to Tennessee residents.
Every day, businesses lose critical customer and financial data as a result of cybercrimes, human errors, and natural disasters. Barracuda Networks, the world leader in content security, application delivery, and data protection, with more than 130,000 customers worldwide, can help. Barracuda Backup Service combines local backup and deduplication for rapid restores with data storage in the cloud for fail-safe disaster recovery. Protect your critical data. Visit barracuda.com/backup to try Barracuda Backup Service free for 30 days. That's barracuda.com/backup.
I bet Dennis Prager dislikes lousy service and high prices as much as I do. I'm Jay Steinfeld, and I started Blinds.com. For people who want window blinds, but not the runaround and confusion you get at home improvement stores. Plus, at Blinds.com, our prices crush home improvement stores. Yep, our prices are lower. And you get free advice from experts, free shipping, and no sales tax in most states. So when you need blinds, crush home improvement store prices and visit Blinds.com. That's Blinds.com.
Making me dance. There's a spring in my step, but a heavy heart. Appointments and deadlines sprout up like weeds. Can't tell what I want from what I need. Find a place in my head that's less wrong than right. No more living at the speed of light.
Portions of this hour of the Dennis Prager Show are brought to you by Prager University.
Living at the speed of light.
Hi, everybody. A reminder about Prager University. We have a Facebook page up for Prager University. Facebook.com/PragerU. This is the Ultimate Issues Hour, having a wonderful time, as of course I always do, with David Horowitz, one of my favorite people, because he fights the good fight. He hates evil like I do, and I love that about him. And he fights it. It's not enough to hate it. He fights it. And he's very courageous. And he's become a genuine philosopher in his later age, which is at this time of life. And his latest book is A Point in Time, The Search for Redemption in This Life and the Next. I'm going to take some calls now from you. We'll start with Atlanta, Georgia, and John. Hi, John. You're with Dennis Prager and David Horowitz. Hi.
Dennis, I love your show, and David, it's an honor to speak to you. You gave a speech at San Diego University about the Palestinian Day they were having.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forwarded that to easily 100 people because it's just such a good speech, and I would tell Dennis that he should play an hour of his show, just your speech. It's that good.
Well, I'm sure it's good.
So I like you even more.
Yeah, well, thank you for noting that. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I'm an agnostic, and I don't think you have to have religion to be moral, or you have to know the answer to the questions of how we got here or why the universe started.
Well, those are separate questions. David Horowitz is obviously a moral man. I've never argued that there are no moral atheists, and I say this every day probably. So that's not, and anyway, that's not our subject. The subject is if there is no God, life is meaningless. David Horowitz now understands that. Is that fair? Am I putting words in your mouth, David?
Yeah, that's true.
Right. That's your book in effect. Yeah. I mean, it's a big part of your book. Now, so I want to challenge both of you. Do you agree with that, John? If there's no God, life is ultimately meaningless?
Not necessarily.
Oh, okay. Well, then, all right. Well, that's a different problem then. No. Wait. I'm going to put you on hold. Forgive me. So I'll address this just to David. David has seen what John at 31 doesn't realize yet. And I hate to sound this way, but I don't understand when somebody says there is no God, but life is ultimately meaningful. It drives me out of my mind.
Well, here's the way I separate it in the book. We live, because we cannot face on a daily basis the fact that we're all going to disappear and forgotten.
Correct. That's right.
Therefore, we live inside stories that have no end. And it enters our language. You know, I'm going to love you forever. We'll never forget you. And, of course, these are all lies.
No, people won't forget you, but the people who don't forget you die.
Exactly.
So exactly. Therefore,
you will be remembered forever. Halls of Fame.
Yeah,
what the heck is that about?
Okay, fine. Okay, so fair enough. So wait. So that's...
There is no... And we talk about history being made as though there's going to be a history. There is no... One day, all of history will be forgotten. It'll all just flatten out.
Okay, beautiful. So you're making my point.
What this caller is saying is life is meaningful. Inside your story, it's meaningful. But
but it's completely subjective.
When you get to a certain point in life, you can see the end coming.
Yeah.
Really see it, not just
the story
as an
ends.
idea.
The story ends.
Yeah. And then it's different.
All right.
And there is no meaning. Life can have absolutely no meaning without a divinity.
All right. So now good. Excellent. Life can have no meaning without a divinity. Okay. So here's my question. In your gut, do you truly believe life is meaningless?
I've written that in this book, that we are going nowhere. That history is going nowhere.
Okay.
And I say I can live with that.
So you're a modern Ecclesiastes.
Because I guess, not to aggrandize myself like that. I mean, that is one beautiful book, although a very disturbing one. We live inside the stories. That's...
You see, my challenge
I understand this, and so I have given myself over to the stories which I live inside of. And, what I care about is my family, my animals, America and Israel, because my fate is intertwined with them.
Okay. See, my argument to you was going to be that your acknowledgement that life is meaningless without God would lead you to say, but in my heart, I don't really believe all of this is just an act.
I don't. It's like, it's called the suspension of disbelief. It's a phrase of, I could see I was an English major, of Samuel Taylor Coleridge. It's the way you are when you're watching a movie or when you're in a play. You suspend your disbelief, and that's reality. And so we all live in these realities that within a secular universe are meaningless. If there is a God, it's a very different story.
Right, okay, so I just want to say, I don't believe that in David Horowitz's gut, you truly believe that this is entirely meaningless.
I certainly don't act that way.
Well, that's right. You don't act that way. So you have so you have a very interesting bifurcation between your actions and your beliefs. You act as if there is meaning. You act as if there is a God. You do. You act as if there is, because you believe in good and evil.
Because that's the only way to make life meaningful. And that is, if I were to act on the belief that it's all meaningless, then the time I have here would essentially be destroyed. I mean, you wind up, you're a criminal, you're a sociopath.
Or at least a hedonist.
a hedonist in the negative sense, that that's
Right.
all you do. So
Yeah.
it doesn't add up.
All right.
I wouldn't be happy that way.
We'll be back. Final segment coming up with David Horowitz, the book A Point in Time.
This hour of today's show is sponsored by MovieNightReviews.com. Their movie reviews offer content warnings so parents can make wise movie decisions for their kids. MovieNightReviews.com.
If you want clarity more than agreement, you've come to the right place. Dennis Prager here on the all-new Town Hall Radio. Had time off. How do we get back on track is a question people ask, and there are many answers. One of the health answers is Nature Bee, and now their Black Label Special. Tell us about it, Mike.
You can get back on track, gang. You take New Zealand's Nature Bee. You'll have every vitamin, mineral, and antioxidant you need. It's 100% natural plant pollen. You'll soon notice you're getting a great night's sleep. You'll have much better digestion and tons of energy.
All right, my friend, what's the deal, and how do we get Nature Bee delivered right to our door?
Oh, look, a giant 6-month supply is just $99.95 plus delivery still, with 3 months for free, and it is Black Label time. That means 1 in 10 of us also gets a bonus gift of skincare, more Nature Bee, or other great prizes. Call now toll-free, 1-866-834-8355.
Call the Beeline and be a Black Label winner. 866-834-8355 or online at naturebee.com.
Are you shopping around for a good night's sleep? It helps to know a thing or two about bed springs. You gotta know your springs. For example, the short springs push harder and wear out faster. Did you know that? The long bed springs last longer because they don't have to push as hard. It's simple physics. Did you also know that Dux makes and designs its own springs? This important fact puts Dux miles ahead of its competition. The result is that Dux does 2 things better than any other bed. A Dux bed distributes your weight evenly and yields to your shoulder and hips, so you wake up with a happy back every morning. Next time you're near a computer, type in DUX.com to learn more about this amazing bed and find your nearest Duxiana store. That's Dux.com or call them at 800-595-2000. 800-595-2000. Like I say, you gotta know your springs, and Dux knows theirs. Dux, the bed for life.
More hair naturally? That's what you really want. No drugs or plugs, just a full, healthy head of hair. Our exclusive patented program breaks down DHT, the medically recognized cause of hair loss, plus increases scalp circulation, nutrition, and removes environmental chemical buildup. Call right now. We'll double your order for free. Call 800-245-HAIR. That's 800-245-HAIR. Or go to iwantmyhair.com.
Hello, everybody. It's Mike Buck for Nature Bee, the health wonder from down under, with some great news about our Black Label Special. When you order or reorder Nature Bee, your plant pollen supplement, the best in the world, $99.95 plus delivery gets you a huge 6-month supply, 3 more months for free, and 1 in 10 get another special bonus with that Black Label. That's more Nature Bee, some skin care, or some other great prizes. Call toll-free to New Zealand and get lucky. 1-866-834-8355 or kick it around at Nature Bee. That's naturebee.com.
Can't lie, you are a lucky man. If you found the reason to live on and not to die, you are a lucky man. Preachers and poets and scholars don't know it. Temples and statues and steeples won't show it.
From the WiseFoodStorage.com studios, gourmet emergency meals at the best price. Be prepared at WiseFoodStorage.com. Goes very fast, an hour with David Horowitz. A Point in Time is his latest book, The Search for Redemption in This Life and the Next. The realizations that this very first-class mind has come to in the course of a long, good, and hopefully much, much longer life, because we need them. And I commend it to your attention. Why he is still an agnostic has been the point of contention between us. It's interesting, your answer to me when I said, why not think about being a believer with doubts, and that you'd never thought about that, leads me, Alan, to believe that's something I should develop on an Ultimate Issues Hour. I think that people think that you're either atheist, agnostic, or full believer. But remember, Israel, I think you know this, Israel in the Bible means fight with God, struggle with God.
Yeah. Well,
it doesn't mean, Islam means surrender to God.
I behave like a believer with doubt. That's how I would describe
that's
my
right.
life.
You do. So I said this. It's the one area in your life where there's a discord. Between.
I don't feel it that way because I'm comfortable with.
No, well, yeah, but
unresolved.
Yes. No, I understand. Well, I'm not saying the other results because it's with doubts. So what's your final thought for my audience?
Well, I hope this book helps people to focus and to live their, what remains to them of this life in a better way. I really like what Marcus Aurelius had to say. It helped me a lot dealing with the, frustrations that one goes through every day. I like this phrase he had is, every day you're going to rise and you're going to meet arrogant, insufferable, shameless people. And don't struggle too hard against it because how could there not be shameless people in the world? That's the way the world is. And you know it after a certain point in life. You get surprised by the good people. So that's a good attitude. And the evanescence of everything and the fact that nobody, I think it was T.S. Eliot said it, that there are no lost causes because there are no won ones.
A Point in Time is the book by David Horowitz. It's up at DennisPrager.com. Thank you, David. Keep writing. Dennis Prager here. Reminder, this is why I will be conducting High Holy Day services in a couple of weeks. If you're interested in information, send me an email.